Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Civivi Pragma Prime. This particular one in this awesome, super acidy VG10 core San Mai. Of course, the standard version of this knife comes in 14C28N and is a little bit less expensive, but I gotta say, before I get started doing my usual thing, this is one of the most badass sub $100 VG10 core San Mai blades that I've ever seen. That was a mouthful, but you know, now in 2025, there are a lot of them. Civivi does it a lot. They do some really interesting patterns. This is probably the most unique, where they have polished these two little areas that run through the center, and then everything else is very acidy all the way around. Really, really cool. And given that I say VG10, it's a 9CR, 10CR combination with the 10CR at the edge, which is a Chinese VG10. It will actually perform decently well and look cool at the same time. But if you want to go with 14C28N, you can do that. This knife is available in, as of the time of this recording, all of the configurations. I'll link it down below. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. You don't want to miss my content, or specifically my weekend giveaways. This is a big knife. Civivi doing more large stuff here lately, which I really like. For a long time, it was like every model they released was 7 1/4 or 7 1/2. This is not small, but you know, they didn't have any full-size knives, or not nearly as many releasing. 8 1/4 inches. Blade length is 3 1/2 on the dot, and your cutting edge is 3 1/8. Let's do some size comparisons. Any custom scales in this section you can find down in the description under Original Goat and Others. Up against the 8010 and my own Excalibur. This is a full-size knife, definitely. It's only about a 1/4 inch shorter than either of these, and it is apparent. In fact, I was thinking that this guy was going to end up being 8 1/2, about the exact same length as my Excalibur. It definitely feels substantial without feeling bulky, if that makes sense. Let's put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3, sharing some major ergonomic similarities with the Spyderco PM2. Look at that. Actually, this is a little bit less, well, I don't know. It has this area here. I'd say the ergonomics are just about equally as comfortable. This is a very, very comfortable knife to hold. We'll talk more about that. It's obviously quite a bit bigger than the Para 3. Let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How's the action on this knife? This is a plunge lock. It is a button lock. I really wish Civivi would get on that button-operated compression or topped liner, or however. Technically, a lot of people point out there is a difference in how the actual Spyderco compression lock operates versus, say, a top liner lock. In any case, the way that the top liner lock, like Vosted, for example, engages would be behind the lock face instead of underneath it, making it a lot more solid and reliable, even without going into the weeds of the exact differences between an authentic Spyderco compression lock and top liner lock, which truthfully I still need to do kind of a deep dive on and look at how they engage, because it might actually be exactly the same thing. Just pointing that out. But what I would like is for Sencut and and Civivi to kind of evolve past these plunge locks, which are fine. In fact, at this price point, I can tell you right now, the company who does the very best plunge lock in terms of action, engagement, disengagement, reliability, all of that, it's Civivi, right? Civivi and Sencut, they really do the best job. But the button-operated liner locks, or, you know, I'm just going to say compression lock. The button-operated compression locks are going to be more reliable. They're going to be stronger, and they also have the benefit of having a detemp ball, which means the detemp break is also a little bit more pleasing. That being said, the action on this is extremely nice. Somehow Civivi has managed to, you know, take these plunge locks and make them feel like actual detemp balls. They're not. It's just very crispy. Oh man, just buttery. Also, Civivi loves to do the domed off thumb studs, which everybody should do. I don't know why any company makes the freaking, the teepee or the... what it makes me think of is that thing in Super Mario 3 on World 5 where you take the castle and it's like a spiral and it goes up to the sky. The spiral thing on the map, that's like the Sebenza thumb stud. I feel like that was modeled after that thing. It is so pointy and uncomfortable. These are extremely comfortable. It's very easy to kick it out with your thumb or reverse flick it. Just really, really comfortable. The action's fantastic. I have no issues with it whatsoever. Let's do carry profile. Thickness up against the Spyderco Pair 3. It's about the same. About exactly the same. Length and height up against the PM2 and the Pair 3. God, that PM2 is just invisible. This is a big knife that is really not taking up an insane amount of... it is big. It's a big knife, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't carry anything else or there's no more room in my pocket big, right? So that's the kind of full-size knife that I like to carry. I also like to carry a full-size knife when it is not insanely heavy, which we will absolutely get into here in just a moment. The blade stock thickness on this guy is definitely lending to, its overall performance. Sorry, I was looking for my calipers there. Definitely lending to its performance in combination with the geometry of the blade, the type of blade, which we're also going to get into in here in just a moment. We zero that out. I bet this is I bet it's under 120. Yeah. 113 thousandths or so. Pretty darn thin. What are we looking at for materials? Like I said, we have a 9CR, 10CR. So the way I understand it is, it's a 9CR, 10CR Damascus as the jacket, and then the core, which you should be able to see right there, is 10CR. 10CR 18, whatever it is. It's the Chinese equivalent of VG10. And I believe Civivi hardens it the same way they harden everything else, which is 59 to 61, which actually works out just fine for VG10 core San Mai. Anyways, aluminum is the other material that I failed to mention here. 3.5 ounces for 3.5 inches of blade. Perfect. And your balance is right behind the pivot, right where your index finger is going to go. This knife feels beautiful in hand. Let's go and do a hardware check. I'll get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very acrobatic. Very recommendable. Very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use in this channel or the pinned comment. T8, T6 for the pocket clip screws on. That's both sides. You do have a T8 filler screw over here, which is just to go into the stud. And then you, not the stud, the standoff. Then you got another T8 screw. T8. Easy to take apart. There's a spring under the button. There usually is. Civivi puts springs. I don't know how else they do it. So watch out for that. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and move on into the meat and potatoes here. Absolutely gorgeous ergonomics. Absolutely. It's not the first knife to have this profile. Far from it. This is the type of knife where people look at it and go, that looks like the, and then they name, whatever. You look at the handle, you're going to say CRKT M16 or whatever. Yep, holes. Holes make me think of that knife too. They don't own circles, so it's not a copy of that. Wharncliffe blade. This is probably my favorite. It's not my favorite looking blade shape. Love the way that this one looks. It's not my favorite looking blade shape. I have to admit, it is for me and what I do, it is the most utilitarian daily blade shape. There's a reason that utility blades are shaped like this. I do so many. I'm a simple guy. I'm just a simple boy doing simple things with pocket knives, right? I carry lots of crazy complex stuff. No pun intended. I don't need to carry it. Most of us, 99.999% of us, are carrying a tool that's probably overqualified for the jobs that you're going to use it for. Do we care? No, we do not, right? We just carry what we like and what will get the job done at the same time, right? Balancing out that convenience, utility, and cool factor, all that. That being said, this blade shape in particular, not a super long and skinny Wharncliffe, but this in particular, man, getting into packages, making draw cuts, stuff these are such convenient blade shapes. I love a big you know, full-sized Wharncliffe blade with excellent ergonomics, and it really does. Perfect jimping to complement the index finger position here. Wonderful, right? Even getting up here on the nose, that's what I call the nose of the blade. Oh my gosh, so good. This was a joy. Mainly, this particular version was a joy to get out because I got to look at this blade every single time, like lightning in a dark, cloudy sky. It looks so cool. Civivi doing an awesome job with both the Damascus and their San Mai. Kaiser is now a company that's capable of making some of the super awesome looking Damascus. There's some other companies who do it, but I feel like Civivi so far has the most out there that look the coolest, and they really have some crazy variation. Sometimes it's really hyper polished, and sometimes it's really acidy like this. I just love it. I love their willingness to mess around with this and actually use materials that are not like insane mega ultra premium, but you know, like good enough for the price point and that will actually perform. You can take this knife out and use it, and it'll, you know, VG10 at roughly 60 HRC will hold a reasonable edge. It'll be easy to tough up. It's easy to tough up, easy to touch up, sharpen. It's relatively tough, and it's stainless, right? Super cool. Will this etching wear away, right? The acidy looking parts over time? It'll fade a little bit. I mean, you'll always be able to see the pattern, right? I mean, you'd have to like polish this to get rid of that. So it's for the most part going to continue to look like that. The aluminum handles are nice. They did this one with holes. By the way, this is apparently the XL version of the large version of the original Pragma, which I looked back because I was like, the what? I don't remember that. I never reviewed it. I think Gideon's Tactical has a video on it, and maybe a couple other people. I never actually... Did they all have the carabiner thing? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but this is a big version of it. The holes are fine. I don't really care. Personally, you know, if I had the option, I'd have gone with a plain handle or one with some like different milling or whatever. The holes do help reduce weight. That's definitely a big part of this. That's how they got it to 3.5 ounces. I think you'd be closer to 4 if with all of these filled in. People have very strong opinions about holes. Usually there's no in between. You're either completely okay with it and you don't care like me, or you like it, or you absolutely hate it. I guess that would be in between though, not caring. Okay, there is an in between. I am in between. I don't really care. It's fine, right? They even kind of provide a little bit of grip texture, like because these holes kind of almost line up with your fingers, I guess, in that specific hammer grip. It's fine. The standard versions of the knife, this is the only one that comes in gray. They also have like a champagne and a red and another color, I don't know, and then you have like Civivi's typical glass blasted or satin finished 14C28N blade. So, lanyard bar, that's fine. Ambidextrous clip mounting positions. We have Civivi's typical super grabby Loch Ness monster clip, but it works just fine. The knife is large enough that, excuse me, you really don't notice the clip at all with the, with like doing a full hammer grip choked up or even choked back. You're just not going to notice it. We have the stop pin located in its traditional position with plenty of shouldering, no blade play up, down, left, or right. A touch of button stick. That's pretty typical. It'll go away. Honestly, it didn't even bother me. No pivot lash whatsoever. Insanely smooth. I can't emphasize this enough. I got companies sending me knives that cost $200, $300, $400, $500, and they run on bearings and they're drop shutty. But in terms of pivot smoothness, I've handled so many freaking knives. The real special ones are the ones where you move it like this and you can't really feel it. I'm just barely aware that there's anything rolling around in there. Knives that eliminate that feeling, pretty rare to see that under $500. This is about 95% eliminated, like anything that can indicate that there are little balls rolling in there. Does that matter? Not really, as long as it deploys. But I will note it. Civivi has stupidly nice action. This is crazy, man. It's so smooth. Absolutely insane. And then you have a nice, really honestly a nice plunge lock detent and perfect centering. What's the price on this knife? So this guy with the this Pragma Prime with the VG10 Corsan Mai is $99. I don't really have a problem with that. Sub $100 knife that looks awesome, will perform well, and is incredibly well made, Chinese or not. I don't have a problem with that. Honestly, the price that I have a problem with is the less expensive one. They want exactly $19 less for the 14C28N one, making it $80. 14C28N aluminum, like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's nice, you know, and their execution's nice. This definitely should have been under $75. I don't know why. It's like, well, because bigger. Like, Civivi, you sell knives in aluminum and 14C28N that are relatively the same size for like $65, right? So why? I don't know. It's fine. Like at $80, like if you buy it, have you made a terrible purchase? No, I just think it's slightly overpriced. Like it probably should cost about $70, right? Civivi, you're paying a little bit extra, but I mean, like, let's be real. Who's making some of the highest quality? Like Migron, admittedly, is doing the Lord's work. They have knives in 14C28N and aluminum, or, you know, nice G10, and they're charging like $55 for it. So are you paying a little bit? Are you paying a little bit more for Civivi? Yeah. Is the action a little bit better? Yeah. Is their cutting edge, like their edge geometry and their factory edge, is it a little better? I'm going to say yeah. Civivi has the nicest sub $100 factory edge in the world. Like, if we're talking about production knives, under $100, there is nobody who does a better factory edge. Now, obviously, this will change the first time you sharpen it to whatever, however you decide to sharpen it. But out of the box, my God, it's crazy. It's like, I mean, it's even essentially polished. It's crazy. Civivi's amazing. Cutting geometry on this one's also very, very good. Is this knife recommendable? Yeah, especially this one. Yeah, it is. It's slightly overpriced, but Civivi's doing, you know, pretty special stuff here, you know. They're not always combining the highest possible quality materials and then releasing it for the best dollar for dollar value, but they are executing things slightly better than the majority of their competition. You know, it's like, again, like comparing directly with Migron. Migron will use the same materials, price it less, and be almost the same in terms of fit and finish, minus the pivot action and maybe their factory edge. But Migron's still, you know, good pivot action, good factory. It's just not quite where Civivi is. This is freaking cool. If you're going to pick this up, I would recommend this version. Definitely. But either one's fine. So I can't put it in cheap knives alike because it's not under $75. That's the threshold for a budget knife on this channel, $75 or less. So it'll go on my most recommended knives playlist. It's pretty darn good. I like it. That's going to be it. Where'd my card go? There it is. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.